brings us a session on evaluation to sharpen our evaluation skills. So, hello Toastmaster, let's welcome Toastmaster Isa to have her session. Over to you, Toastmaster Isa.
Thank you, Toastmaster Divya Prashant. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are ready.
Yes. Please confirm if my screen is visible to you. I'm just starting to share. Yes. Is it visible?
Yes, it's visible, Isa. We are good to go.
Yes. Perfect. So good evening, everyone. Firstly, thank you for the invite from Division H. I received the invite from Toastmaster Jagan. Thank you. He's not there, so but still convey my thanks. Thank you for having me. Firstly, I would like to have a rough count as to how many of you are going to participate for the evaluation speech contest for the first time. Like you're newcomers, or maybe I just contest. Wonderful. Okay. Okay, fine. Yes, have the count now. Can you just randomly give me some pointers that you think this could be the difficulty in me for evaluation? I feel I'm not comfortable in this portion for the evaluation speech contest. Can I have any answers? Yes, is Sujam trying to answer me or talking somewhere else? Oh, okay, fine. Yeah. So this was pretty much this year when I started the evaluation speech contest. I was just like around 11 months or 1 year old into Toastmasters. The first thing that I had in my mind was, how will I evaluate a speech? I felt I am not so experienced, right? How can I go and evaluate a speech of a person if at all the target speaker is so experienced, the speech is so good? How will I be able to evaluate? That was the first thing that struck my mind when I wanted to go and compete. But the mindset which I had was, I am going to see a movie. Imagine I'm going to theater and going to watch a movie, and I have been asked to give a review on that movie, just a honest review. That's all. So, if at all you have to give a honest review for a movie, you don't have to be a director. Yes, you can give better reviews when you are experienced, absolutely. But just see to that nothing stops you from going and giving that first try. It's just your honest evaluation that you are going to share for a speech that you're witnessing as an audience. That's it. So, this is the first idea that I had when I stepped into evaluation. So, this presentation and pretty much the pointers that I'm going to tell you will be helping you to give a contest ready evaluation for all the first timers. And also, towards the end, we can see as to what are those X factors that could put you on the podium at higher stages like the division or in the district. So this presentation is pretty much about decoding evaluation fundamentals. Now let's get started. The first question, the second question which I have to you is, what is the basic difference that you think exists between evaluation speech contest and a pathway evaluation? That is a pathway speech which we generally deliver in the clubs, right? What is the difference between both the evaluation? Anyway, it's the speech, and followed by that, you're going to give an evaluation. What do you think is the difference, or is there any difference? Can you come again, sir? Okay, so I'll just proceed with the answers. There are three prime differences that I would say there is between the evaluation speech contest and a pathway speech evaluation, which is firstly, you don't have any objectives. If it is for a level completion speech or an icebreaker speech or for the level one of the project one, something like that, you will always have objectives as to what you're going to evaluate the speech for. Whereas in the contest, it is an open ended evaluation. You're going to watch a speech, and evaluate the criteria that are required or the speech demands. There is nothing like you have to talk about the body language. So it is an open ended evaluation when you go to the speech contest, which means you have a variety of pointers to evaluate a particular speech about. Number two, your evaluation will be evaluated. In the club contest, in the club level, when you give evaluations, it can be just like a random talking with few pointers to the target speaker. But whereas in the contest, your evaluation should fill in certain criteria and you will be evaluated for that. Number three, the most important of all, it is not a report but a speech itself. What do I mean by that? It is not it is not a report in the sense when you give an evaluation in the club contest, say I can just start randomly by asking that person or telling about that person, hi, your speech was wonderful, I like this, I like that. Say if the person was spoken about his grandfather, I can start by saying I love that story, I have a story with my grandfather, like that. Some random pointers you can say, then I'll jump to the positive, one negative, again one positive, something like that. But whereas in the evaluation speech contest, your evaluation itself is a separate entity that itself has to be a speech. What do I mean by speech? You should have an opening, a strong body, and a proper and concise conclusion. You start with a strong opening, pick something from the speech or any proverb or whatever relates to the speech. You have to start with a proper introduction before jumping into the analytics. That is, these are the positives, these are the negatives. Before that, give an introduction. Your analytical part, the positives and the recommendations will be your body. And again, the summary will be your conclusion. The summary and one statement towards the end to make the speaker feel good about the speech, or one proper message that you want to leave out to the speaker towards the end will be your conclusion. So all these three parts should be there in the evaluation speech contest evaluation. Otherwise, it is not qualified to be a contest level evaluation. This is the most important part of all, the judge's ballot. You will be evaluated for your evaluation on these categories. Number one, the analytical quality. How well you're observing the speech and analyzing the different aspects of the speech. It should be clear and focused, as the points say there. Just look at the markings for each section. The analytical quality has 40 points. The recommendations. What is the recommendations? What are the improvements that could have made the speech a better one? That carries 30 points. The technique, how are you telling the introduction, both the analytical positives and analytical negatives, and again coming back to the conclusion, that technique carries 15 points. And then the summation. The summation stands for the summation of the evaluation, not the speech. So whatever points you have told in the positives, improvisations, everything, put it together, concise towards the end, finish with an encouraging statement. As I said, the closing statement, keep it like an encouraging statement to the speaker. So this is the four categories that you will be judged upon. If you look at the ballot, the first time when I looked at the ballot, or even in the district when I looked at the ballot, I felt more weightage is always given towards the analytical aspect. That is, be it the analytical quality or the recommendations. If you look at it from a wide perspective, both are somewhere correlated. How? When you analyze a speech, I will find the positives and the recommendations. So both these categories are technically depending on how well you analyze one speech. That carries 70 points. The technique and summary are mandatory, but see to that you hit on the 70 points first and very strong, followed by the technique and the summary follows. If it, the technique shouldn't be overpowering. Sometimes what happens is that you focus a lot on the technique, whereas you need the time to build that technique. To explain the technique, you will take some 30 seconds or 40 seconds altogether in your speech. You might lose one point of recommendation or one point of positive, which is very mandatory for you to say. So don't do that. The technique should be supporting your analytics. The summary and the encouraging statement should support your analytics. Your prime focus should be how well you've analyzed the speech. These are the four categories that you can see in the ballot. This is how you will be judged. Now, moving to the four phases. This is how I felt my journey in the last 1 year looking at the evaluation speech contest, what doubts I had, how the progress has to move. These are some things that I missed, but I feel that this could work for all of you. Number one, where to start? If you're very new, I'm so new, this is the first time I'm going and contesting, or I lost in the club or area level last time. I don't know what is the strong way to start. I would suggest these 3 points. Watch a lot of speeches. What do I mean by watch a lot of speeches? Go hit YouTube, take some videos, and see different speeches. When you are exposed to a lot of speeches, see it in your club speeches or on the YouTube, whichever speeches, you will come up with a lot of pointers as to how evaluation you can do. In case I'm not watching any speech, I just rely upon the evaluation resources that is given for every level speeches, right? What are the categories in that? You have content, clarity, body language, vocal variety. The staple categories will be there. I'll just go to a contest with that mindset. Don't do that. Go watch speeches. You can find different pointers in different speeches. That will be an eye opener for you to understand what are all the categories a speech can be judged. A humorous speech, if you watch, you will have different perspectives as to judge in the humorous speech. An international speech contest, say division level winners or district winners of other district, just go randomly hit the YouTube, watch those videos. Those speeches will give you a lot of different pointers as to how can you evaluate the speech. Number two, focus on listening and observing. This is very basic, and I think this is the building block of an entire good evaluation. How well did you listen and observe the speech? And note, it should be simultaneous. Sometimes, since we are taking notes, you will not observe what the speaker spoke at one place. You'll just be listening. The mistake will be in his body language, and you will miss out on that. Sometimes, if it's like a too much body language oriented speech, you will just be looking at him, but you don't focus on the word that he said. That word might be insignificant for that word body language. You will miss out on that. So when you're watching the speech, focus on how well you're listening and observing simultaneously. That will give you a proper evaluation starting. In case if you're finding it difficult to do it, then you will know where you're lagging. Maybe at this part, I should not write notes, I have to just observe. Or this part, I can simultaneously observe and write. All these pointers will pop up only when you observe your listening and observing skills. Number three, understand the ballot. As I showed you in the previous slide, know what you are being judged upon so you can hit the target correct. Like, don't, especially in the evaluation speech contest, since the time limit is very less, don't waste time on categories or ideas that don't fall under the ballot category. In the sense, 10 seconds or 15 seconds, it's fine, but 30 seconds or 40 seconds for something different, which is not even there in the ballot, might cost you high in the higher ends of the contest. So these are the 3 pointers where you have to start. Watch a lot of YouTube videos, understand the different dynamics, how a speech can be judged. Focus more on listening and observing simultaneously when you're watching the speech. Number three, understand the ballot where you're going to hit the points. Next, so this is the prime section, how to evaluate effectively. Number one, mention plus reason and mention plus illustrate. What do I mean by this point? So there is this famous quote or anything that the seniors have told me, which is don't just tell them, show them. When I'm telling you a point, say I'm going to tell a positive about the speech. I'm going to say the vocal variety which you had was so good as a positive. I shouldn't just mention, but give the reason. Then only the credibility value of my evaluation adds. So people will believe me, okay, yes, she's right. Or people might think this is a unique point, but she convinced me that's right. When you're saying positive about a speech, see to that you mention the positive, also the reason why it is positive. When I'm saying vocal variety was amazing, I should say why the vocal variety was amazing. Because the vocal variety at this place made me feel the love that you have for my mother. I mean, for your mother. The impact was good. The vocal variety was great because the impact it created was long lasting. So you mention and give the reason for why that is a positive. Second part, mention and illustrate. This falls under the category of recommendation. When I'm saying you could have worked on your body language or the stage positioning at this point as a recommendation, which is an improvisation. I have to not just tell them, but show them how you have to do it. Like you go, you move your position on the stage and simultaneously speak. Tell you could have stood in the right corner when you spoke about this, move to the center when you spoke about that, move to the left when you spoke about the end, and for the final call for action or conclusion, you could have again come to the center for a better impact for the audience. So when you're saying about the positive, mention the positive with the reasoning. When you're saying about the recommendation, mention the pointer and illustrate that recommendation if at all it demands. Never ever say a vague point without giving a proof. So how does it affect that? People will not believe why you're saying it. For example, if I just simply say I love the body language vocal variety, why did I love it? There is no proof, or the credibility factor of my evaluation goes down. If I simply say work on your writing, why? Why should you work on your writing? So always give reasoning for whichever pointer you're giving. Number two, give valuable points. Valuable points in the sense, see to that every single point that you say actually is valuable for that speech. Don't say something just because you've prepared it. Sometimes what we do is just because I was very new in the last year, I had some friends, or what we used to think was, if at all, I might prepare a wonderful point to tell about voice modulation. I have, if their person has a good voice modulation, I will say that point in a very beautiful way. I can articulate it very beautifully and say it. But what if the speech does not have vocal variety? It'll be a fake point that I'm giving. It will not add anything to that speech or the speaker or even to my evaluation. So always give valuable points which the speech and the speaker demands. If it really needed to give, then you give it. Otherwise, don't give something because you have prepared that you're going to give it. Number three, target the speech and not the speaker. So, the basic purpose of any evaluation in Toastmasters, be it in the club meetings or in the club contest or any high end contest, is to elevate the target speech and the speaker. So, always don't try to hit on the speaker in the sense, anyways, all the eight contestants, nine contestants, we are just going to give criticism and the feedback for the for the speaker. See to that the criticism falls under the category of constructive criticism. Don't try to target or belittle the efforts of the speaker. Always try to elevate the speaker and the speech through your evaluation. So after you finish your evaluation, the valuability and the credibility of your speech should be that yes, all the points will be useful for the speaker. Yes, all the points, if at all incorporated, would have made the speech better than what was presented. So try to hit on the speech. How was the presentation? How was the writing? How was the impact of that speech? Don't try to hit on the speaker. Don't try to make fun of him, or try to put down points on him, and just because it can have any other impact. So always try to target the speech and not the speaker. Number four, be authentic. At times, what happens is some points might not work for you. People might laugh for certain sections of the speech, but you think it was an unnecessary point. Like, for example, the body language would have been great, but you think the body language was insignificant. I think this body language was not supporting the point of what the speaker was going to convey. This has actually happened to me. The body was great, people were laughing, but I felt the body language was insignificant. Even without that body language, the writing and the presentation would have got that laughter. So if I felt so, I will convey it in a motivational, sympathetic, proper way because I felt it, not because I am going with the crowd. So give valuable points. Also see to that it should be authentic. If you feel it, go ahead and tell it in a proper way, not like letting down the speaker. Number five, practice. So this already goes with the first section that I said. Go to YouTube, take a lot of videos, practice your evaluation. The same time limit you can maintain, run the video for 7.5 minutes. sit, take notes, have some 5 minutes for your evaluation preparation time, and immediately record a video of your evaluation. You can rewatch the video, find some pointers in that, like what are the mistakes that you're doing. If you have any mentor, just send the video to them along with the speech that you have evaluated, send it with them. Or even if you don't have a mentor, any senior Toastmaster in your club, any friend of yours, send it to them and ask them, do you think, how is this evaluation? They can easily tell you the credibility factor. Are you really saying the truth? Was it really great? Was it really something like that?
நிறைய
You
ரிசர்ச்
can,
பண்ணிட்டப்பா, நீங்க எதுவுமே சொல்ல தெரியல, அதெல்லாம் வைக்க முடியாது.
yes, Toastmaster, everything you're on. Yeah, thank you. So you can practice, record the video, just like the same way the contest happens. Thank you, timer. Just record the video, send it to someone for feedback, get their feedback, and see how you can improve it. So these are the 5 pointers that I thought might work for evaluating properly because it worked for me. Number one, mention along with the reasoning. Number two, stick to only valuable points. Number three, elevate the speech and the speaker. Don't let down the speaker. Number four, be authentic when you're giving the evaluation. Number five, practice well. The next part is the presentation techniques. As you saw in the ballot, you have 15 points for the presentation techniques. What are presentation techniques? The famous examples are the sandwich technique, acronym technique, metaphor technique. The sandwich technique is the commendation. You start with the positives, then you give the recommendations, which is the improvisations, and again you finish with the commendation. So it's like a sandwich, two breads with some stuffing in between. This is one famous method. Acronym method. For example, if a person is speaking about a boat ride, he went on a boat ride in a river, something like that. I can pick the word boat. What I loved in your speech was the boat. B for body language, O for the opening, D for the dynamicity that you showed from every scene to scene, Y for something, T for something else. So you can pick one word from the speech and elaborate it as the positives or the negatives. This is the famous acronym technique. And number three is the metaphor technique. Again, you pick some hook from the speech and you explain your positives in that manner. For example, the same boat speech, if I'm saying, I can say that your speech was like a river. The flow was good at this place. There was slight hindrance at this place. So if at all you modify these as the recommendations, the river flow and my boat ride would have been much better. Something like that you can put it. These are the three famous techniques, but there is no yardstick that you have to stick only to these three techniques. You are free to explore your techniques. But the prime point is it should be simple to recollect. Don't do a very complicated technique where you will struggle in the summary to recollect, and also people might not remember all the points very efficiently because the technique was tough. Thank you, timer. And finally, this is the last slide. So when I started the contest at last year, I used to ask how to win or what is the prime factor for going to district and all. Everyone told me there is no particular winning formula. But when I am looking at it as some 1 year experienced person, I think this is the winning formula, which is 100 points plus your X factor. Why am I saying X factor? When you see evaluation speech contest in particular, the material that you all are going to evaluate, I mean, we all are going to evaluate as contestants is the same. The same speech we all are going to say. The dissection of the speech is the same. How can you stand out is with your X factor. So the winning formula is if you see the winning performances of the district this time, that is the winner was Toastmaster Adil Ibrahim, the runner-up was distinguished Toastmaster Raghavan Sridhar. They all were hitting on the 100 points perfectly. Plus, they brought some X factor to the stage. The winner had an engaging way of giving the humor, engaging way of giving the evaluation. The humor was not outside the content, but well within his positives, well within the speech of the target speaker. So it was not like wasting time or unnecessary addition, but it elevated his evaluation so well. He was not only focusing on the humor, but he also cleared those 100 points in the ballot with strong analytical points which he gave. The runner-up who came, like Raghavan Sridhar, he had an amazing way of dissecting the content. He was just hitting on the content. How well was the storytelling? How was the characterization? He had a powerful analytical technique rather than focusing on the presentation technique. So, in my opinion, with the performances that I have seen, try to satisfy the judges' ballot for all the 100 points and bring your X factor. When you're very new, what will help you find your X factor is the practice. You go see the YouTube videos, do your evaluation. Eventually, after 5 or 10 evaluation, you will understand what is your X factor. Am I so strong in analytics, or am I so strong in the presentation, or what am I strong at? That you will find. See to that you satisfy both together. That will definitely take you to the next stages in the contest for sure. This is something that I have observed. So this is pretty much from my side. Thank you. Now I'll open for the questions. Please ask me. Any questions? Was it like very clear or nothing was clear?
This is regarding your technique.
Yes.
How much pre-prepared ready-made material is required?
Okay. How much pre-prepared ready-made material is required? So generally, I was saying focus on preparation, especially when you are new. But the preparation should be in such a way, like I am a college student. I will tell you in this way. I prepare a lot for all the modules which is given in the syllabus. But my exam is a MCQ type. It is a hyper order thinking question. You prepare so that you crack the exam, not like you prepare so that you give the same answer in the exam. That is where you lose the credibility. So when I say go practice, look at the speeches, understand what are the different aspects. Only after looking at certain speeches, I understood how the transition matters in the speech. Sometimes we abruptly say, at my home, this happened. At my college, this happened. Again, I came back home, this happened. But it will be very obvious in a certain division level winning or district winning speeches. The transition itself will be so seamless. You will not know when the person started, when the person ended. All these pointers will come back only when you practice. So I would say don't take any ready-made material like a template. For example, if you're going to say, I did have a template like comparing it with the recipe of a food. I didn't use it, but still I had a template like this. If at all nothing works, maybe I can use this. This is in the very initial stage in my club contest and all. I used to think like, okay, template technique might work. But what happens is that the speech will be something very emotional. Nothing related to the food will be there. But how can I go and say your speech was like a food? If it is like a boat ride, I can't go and say your speech was like a sambar and say all the aspects of a sambar and say how it worked for me. It will be so off and people will not relate with your speech. So try to practice different varieties, but don't take any template to the contest. When you're going to the contest, you should pick something from the speech that works the best. Or else, if you're very new, you want to have a template, have an open ended template. Like, for example, some opening quote about a speech, how well a speech should be, how the positive should be, how the recommendation should be. That template should accommodate any speech. If you're very creative, take a template like that. And you're very new, like you think I cannot pick something from that day's speech, take a template which is very open ended. It shouldn't look very obvious that this person has prepared this, that's why he's presenting this. It shouldn't look that way. Don't take a template. If at all you're taking a template, keep it very open ended to accommodate any speech. Have I answered your question?
Yeah, in addition, can we
Yes.
have points like, say, personal stories? The speaker use personal stories. I can have
Okay.
one prepared line for personal stories. Personal stories are very good ways to engage audience. It builds credibility.
Yes.
It's relatable. It's something like that.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's an open-ended question. So everyone will say some personal story for sure. When they're saying some personal story, you can say your hook line on personal story. But see to
Okay.
that hook line doesn't drag a lot. Let it not be 2 or 3 sentences, but one sharp sentence. Focus more on what is there on the ballot.
Okay.
This is not a template which you're saying. You're saying some statement that you will say when someone is speaking about the personal story. This you are free to do. And also, this is the open-ended style I was saying. Any personal story, you can say this caption. Such a caption, if you have, go ahead and tell. No problem. See to that it is not consuming a lot of time, just elevating your evaluation. That's
Okay.
it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
One question I have, I think it was a great session. A lot of learning. Did you see as you moved from club area, district to division, did the quality of the test speaker also was like at a increasing rate? So was it getting difficult to find the recommendation part as you moved
True. Yes, absolutely.
across
Especially
the levels?
yes, I get your question. So, especially when I myself was very new in the club contest, I had this inhibition like, if at all some senior comes, like, there's no point of senior. Everyone is a senior to me when I am new, right? I always had this inhibition. What happens when you have this mindset is that you will not listen to the speech properly. Within the first 3 to 4 minutes, you will be off because the speech is so good. Never let the speaker or the speech take over you in your mind. That's why the first point I said is we are not going to give the best evaluation, and we need not be the best evaluator. Just look at it like an audience who's watching this movie and give your honest review. That's all. The level of competition keeps increasing, but when you look at this perspective, you can tell a recommendation. Anyone who spoke, who was my target speaker in the division or the district, are obviously senior to me and they gave phenomenal speeches, but I did end up giving two recommendations to them honestly. That's all. And also, many seniors who have spoken to me regarding this have told that any speech, even a world championship winning speech, will have some scope of improvement. We have to look at it. Your practice will definitely help you to find those loopholes which could elevate even an already high end speech. So it is definitely there. Don't have this in your mind. If at all the person is senior, you have to give the recommendation because the recommendation is there in the ballot. Never miss out the recommendation. I hope I answered the question.
Yeah, thank you.
Uh,
Thank you. Any more questions? I think I'm over time.
Sorry to interrupt, Toastmaster Isa. We have one more final question so that we could go well with
Yes.
the time.
Yes, I'll take Toastmaster Radha's question as the final question. Yes, Toastmaster Radha.
Yeah, aligning to the earlier question, Toastmaster Isha. So, okay, there are very best speeches that we are hearing in the evaluation, right? So during
Yes.
that time, when I was visiting other club contest, I understand that the quality of evaluation that the contestants are giving is like, for example, uh, there are certain comments which are very high-ended, right? For example, you could have maybe if you could take the descriptive projects, etc., right, in our pathway. So high-end recommendations are coming in. What is your thought around it? Basic, would the judges be evaluating the quality of recommendations coming from the contestants? Will they look into it? That's the question that I have. For example, we would be usually, I mean, the basic structures, the content delivery, the gestures, body language, etc. We will see to it, right?
Yes.
Other than that, if at all the speaker is so awesome and we were not able to find anything out of them, we are getting a
Yes,
lot
I
of
get the question.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
So,
what's your
ma'am,
thought
there
on
are two.
that? Yeah.
Yes, there are two aspects to this question. Even I had this doubt because in the starting, two aspects is that one is the credibility and the uniqueness of your evaluation. Number one, yes, you have to be unique. I have to stand out other than that eight contestants. If the vocal variety is great, everyone is going to say the vocal variety. How will I stand out? We have to think and give unique points. For that, I cannot give a random point which is not supporting the speech at all. If I'm giving a very beautiful point about a comprehensive dissection of the speech and saying this section was great, this section was not great, the transition was amazing, I put it in a very beautiful way. I will stand out from the eight contestants. But was it really there in the speech? That matters. So the judges will see your uniqueness, but also they will see the value and the credibility of that point. That goes hand in hand. Try always to give unique pointers It will make you stand out even in the club contest. See for the pointers which people might not say. For example, vocal variety, body language, clarity, content. Don't touch this. See more into the content, how better the writing could have been, how better the delivery could have been, and tell that. In case even if it's very complex, go ahead and tell it unless and until it is really needed for the speech. But don't do it evidently because you have to stand out. You will actually stand out in the judges ballot because it will not add to the credibility. So have I answered this? See to that it's unique but also original.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Yes, so that's it. If there are any more questions, you can send it through Toastmaster Divya Prashant. Thank you for your time. I hope I did share some points with you. Do share the feedback of the session with you. Thank you so much for everyone joining here. And I hand over the control back to Toastmaster Divya Prashant.